Okay, and let me check. Apparently audio levels are working, although, let me check over here. Yeah, I have muted it. Good. Hey up, RJ. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Not the first ones of the day, but hopefully not the last ones either. But yeah, no. First things first, let's do the usual and start off with a bit of coffee. So yeah, like I said, I put up a poll because I wasn't sure what I was doing, and after a grand 5 votes, we ended up deciding on this. Wow, how my popularity has sunk. Then again, not that I care these days. But yeah, no, the idea is to paint up some of my backlog of Blood Angels. Because one of my actually, come to think of it, wow, that tastes really like I haven't mixed it up at all. That's a little better. Yeah, because I've got one of my finished pieces here, and I've got a fair amount of things that haven't been painted up yet. I've at least got a pair of Razorbacks, another Dreadnought, and about 30 or 40 Marines that still need painting up. Although at the present moment, I've been kind of putting them off. At the very least today, I want to try and get at least the last Dreadnought painted up. It's a little bit... It's partially started. It started. I started with the red at least, and that's about as far as I've gotten. I have my stuff with me, so what we can do is swap over here. So as we can see, I've gotten the red down. Oop. Yeah, I keep forgetting those things are not glued in because it just makes it easier to transport. So eventually, it's going to look a lot similar to this. I mean, I know this looks darker, but this is what happens after you put the varnish on. So that's what I'm going to be going for. So there's not a huge amount to do on this guy. The most tedious part is the next step, which is reblocking out all the black areas again. It's one of the reasons I've got this guy out, because then I can work out what colours I need to put where. Because I can't remember, it's been a little while since I painted one. I mean, I also have a few other things. I've got my 2... Where's the other one? There they are. I've got my 2 converted apothecaries, or sanguinary high priest, although you can't really tell that much at the moment from them. Sorry about that. I wanted to offer... Oh, that can piss right off. There we go. So yeah, that was frustrating. I also have my my sniper units, which again I've just had the red put on. I've got a couple of tactical units, couple of old school Razorbacks. But yeah, because these and the Dreadnoughts are going to take the least amount of time to deal with. And I even have one extra jump pack Marine, although he's fallen over. There we go. So yeah, all in all, I've got quite a few things that still need painting. Just to give you a rough idea. Let's drag this over. Yeah, I've got all this that still needs doing. And I've been putting it off for quite a while. But when I eventually get all this painted up and sorted, it's going to be round about it'll add up to around about 4,000 points worth of army at that point. But I'm just being a lazy git and just can't be bothered right now. Oh. Huh. You can actually see it all the way down into the power plant stacks. Not that you can see that normally, so I'm not going to even bother painting in there. But yeah. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the main guy that we're going to focus on today. But let's jump back here for the moment, because this is a chill time and I'm not going to stress too much. There we go. We can put him back down there. And the question is as well, is where the hell is my chat gone? Because I don't remember where anything is on here. Ah, right. So let's move that to there. There we go. It's been a while since we sorted this out because I used to have the cam up top and the chat down the bottom. Now I've moved things around a little bit. So yeah. But yes, today is the celebration of the commencement of my 41st trip around the sun. So yeah, I'm 41 today. And yes, before anybody asks, yes, I do feel old. But also, to celebrate the fact, well, not to celebrate, but also to keep in theme with the fact that we're painting Blood Angels, I also have my Blood Angel Stein with my nice hydration in there. And lovely purity seal on there. But yeah, I've got all my gear over here as well. Oop, let's move you out of the way for the moment. Ah, okay, fine. Paper towel, you can go over there for now. Yeah. As you can see, I am very organised when it comes to my painting supplies. I've got my transfers, which I'll probably be using some of these later. I've used a lot of these. 2 sets of Blood Angel transfer sheets. I'm going to end up using the white Blood Angel logos at some point in the near future for my Death Company. So let's move those out of the way for now, because we don't need those at the moment. We've got the base sand. We've got the green, the static grass that I haven't used in donkey's years. Don't even know why I still have that, I'll be honest. A couple of tufts that I have been using. My green stuff, which I have also been using. Another one of my second librarian. So I sculpted some hair onto him. I already have one, but since I got a second one with the second Blood Angel Combat Patrol that I picked up, I thought I might as well see if I can paint it up a little better, because I'm not entirely happy with the original. And I've even got these annoying a-holes, the Desolator Marines with their stupid Nerf guns. Although I specifically went for the Super Frags, just at least because they look a bit less stupid than the Super Cracks. But yeah. What the hell was I doing? That was it. Need my brushes. At the very least, I'm trying to avoid completely destroying all my bristles, although my painting technique is very intensive on my brushes, let's put it that way. My sculpting tools, which I don't need today, and all the magnets, which I don't need right now. Let's put those over here. Oh yeah, let's put them onto the metal table where they all stick. PVA, don't need that. The tweezers, I'll need those later maybe. It depends how far we get along we get. And I don't need the glue at the present moment. My original plan for today was to go down to the Warhammer store itself, previously known as Games Workshop. And I was going to... what was the word I'm looking for? I was going to have... see if I could have a battle with my 40k, because I'm sick of getting my ass kicked by my mate and his Drukari. Because he's the kind of guy that's... that's the word I'm looking for. he number crunches absolutely everything to do with his army. Right, so I don't need the Mephiston Red right now. Oh, maybe I do. I've got Corn Red and Mephiston Red, which are the two reds that I use for my Blood Angels. I do one layer of corn, maybe a little bit more, depends. And then I put Mephiston Red over the top of it. I've just recently had to buy more Corn Red, which is really annoying since I've only got like 7 more models that need any red on them. Because I literally ran out of red shortly before. Ooh, there we go. Abaddon Black. That's the next thing that we need. So this can go away for the moment. Put that down on the floor, just so it's out the way. And I have my water. And I have my paper towel. And the paper towel can go over here. Right, which one do I want to use? I don't want to use something too small to start with. Yeah, I think this one will be sufficient for now. This one's a base S. So, base S brush. But it's large enough to just... It's large enough to do what I need. So the idea right now is, like as I said prior, is to... Yeah, I can tell I haven't used this brush for a while. It's a bit stiff. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's much better. Now I don't bother diluting down my paints at all, because that's kind of defeats the object of what I'm trying to do a lot of the time. Plus, I'm an old school painter. I come from an era before diluting paint was really a thing. Excuse me. And here, all we're trying to do is, like I said, is just reblock out all the areas that are not meant to be red. Because that way, I can at least then start painting the colour that they're supposed to be. Because I like starting with a black undercoat or base coat. And thankfully, because this model is fairly large, it's not that difficult to do this. I can literally just do a reverse overbrushing over the top of it too, per se. Well, kind of. Per se is the wrong thing there. I keep using that wrong. And I keep getting told that I sound like that annoying kid in South Park. Which is lovely. Just the thing you want to hear when you turn 41. But yeah. Oh well. The main issue is I have to be a bit careful that I don't leave too much texture after, which is the downside for not actually oh, so that's a thought as well. Totally forgot. I did actually get some music for this, so I'll just turn it down. Let me know if this sounds too quiet or not, or just right, or too loud. Because I could not find the one that I was using last time. Because it's been a while, it's been a few months at least since the last time I did a stream like this. And later on today I do plan to play some Fallout. But that really depends on whether or not I have the mental energy to do so. Because me and RJ do also need to watch stuff later today. And I also need to watch the next episode of the series I'm watching up by myself. But yeah. I mean, for the funny thing is I play Blood Angels, which are traditionally a run up and smack you in the face kind of army. But the way I've been playing them recently is very, very not that. The way I've been playing them recently is more akin to playing the Imperial Fists, actually. Is I've been focusing a lot on heavy weapons. Just because the army that I'm constantly fighting is so mobile and maneuverable, I literally can't get into close combat with them. The only time I ever get into close combat with them is if either my buddy's made a massive, horrendous mistake, Okay, that bit is still red. So it goes from here down. Is either he makes a horrendous mistake, or he wants me to charge him. And I've only done it once, and I got absolutely slaughtered. Which is extremely disheartening when it's basically what my entire army is supposed to be built around. But yes, no, we've been playing it as a very conservative heavy weapon based. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Right, okay, yeah, that bit. Okay, just like I said, I'm trying to remember which sections I keep as what colours, because I never remember. And this is the most tedious part of it, which is why I stopped here for most of my my army. Eventually, I will get around to doing them. It's just I really don't want to right now because I'm just at that warm stage. I really want to paint up my two sanguinary priests as well. But since they're sanguinary priests, I'm very happy that I don't have to paint them fully white, because that would be extremely annoying. Okay, so around that entire section is going to be black as well. I might have to use a slightly smaller brush to fit in there, so I'll fix the larger sections first. Because I like having the contrast between the red and the red and the what eventually ends up being silver. He's fallen over. So I'll stand you back up there so at least I can see that a little bit easier. Then everything around, was it? Yeah, even that point. Yeah, okay. So even this ring here is going to be blacked out. And I was very surprised when I put this particular Dreadnought model together, because the other ones were an absolute freaking ball ache. They're an absolute pain in the freaking ass, especially when you get to the legs. Also, if you can hear some of the fan going off in the background, you're going to have to bear with it. It is ridiculously warm here. Well, I say ridiculously warm, for me it is. It's currently about 27 degrees and 40% humidity. So, yeah, that's not ideal. Yesterday it was like 30 degrees and like 70-something% humidity. I was dying of heat stroke at work yesterday. And yes, no, I'm doing the same thing as I do every year, and that's booking my birthday off, because I have never worked a day. I've never worked or been to school or anything on my birthday, because I believe, if I remember correctly, that my birthday actually falls on a thing that either used to be or still is Potter's Week or something. I don't remember. But it's a tradition that I don't want to abandon, because I like not working on my birthday. Having chill time to do whatever the hell I want is great. I mean, I did get woken up at 7 o'clock this morning by my old team leader, who goes, "I don't know why, but I had a feeling I needed to call you today." He's like, "Are you at work?" "No, I'm not." "Why are you not at work?" I'm pretty sure you already know the reason why." "No." "Well, it's my birthday. That's why." "Oh." "So what were you doing?" "So I was lying in bed." "Oh, I've done my job then." Git. He loves just calling me up at like random times and just waking me the hell up. He's a right bastard. He's a great guy though. I'm very lucky to have him as a friend. But, as he often says, with friends like him, you don't need enemies. And that's him saying this, not me. But yeah. Right now, I am closing in on about 4,000 points of Blood Angels, which is a lot of bloody Blood Angels. And it's fairly balanced, actually, I'll say. I do have a lot of close combat units, because of course I would, I'm Blood Angels. But I also do have a lot of fairly good ranged and mid-range, longer and mid-range units. Like I have some kit bashed Devastator Marines, so that they are now Primaris scale, because I really, really do not like having the mini Marines in the new alongside new models, the Primaris models, because that really bugs the crap out of me. Yeah, occasionally you might also hear the metro going past. I don't know if you can hear that right now. But also, because I live on a road as well, you might also hear some cars. But again, you're going to have to bear with it because the balcony door's open. Because I need some fresh air. And sadly, I can't be sitting around in nothing but my boxes because I'm streaming. And that'd be a different kind of stream. And I'll be honest, I don't think you want to see a middle-aged guy sitting around in his boxes. Honestly, I think it would probably scar most of you. Mentally. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to getting this thing painted up, because then it'll be another step closer to my anvil detachment. Actually, what was it called exactly? Let's find out, I forget. There is it. Anvil Siege Force. Sorry. Yeah, not me talking with the brush in my mouth. And yes, I am starting to sweat again because it is freaking warm. But yeah, the Anvil Siege Force is the detachment that caters more to heavy weapons. Usually, I would go for the Sons of Sanguinius, which is where your models get +1 attack and +2 strength on a charge. Which, back in the day, when I first started collecting Blood Angels, was +1 strength and initiative. Which was really broken back then. But that was back when initiative in melee was still a thing. Because you don't have that anymore. Which, I don't understand why they moved away from it. Because it feels like it's just a more pain in the ass system at the moment. But then again, this mainly because it just doesn't feel like it benefits my guys as much. But when my guys charge, they get the fights first rule, but then they're fighting something that already has fights first. I don't know what's going on there. So again, it's just trying to get used to the new rules that I don't quite understand fully yet. Because right now I've had about 5-6 games and I've lost every single one. But like I said, it's against the same guy who keeps he checks. He basically spends his entire time just working out mathematically what can get most kills for the least amount of points, and then focusing on that. But again, he plays Drukhari, so they are also still not updated in 10th edition, which kind of sucks. But then again, so's my Blood Angels. I mean, I've got the Space Marine Codex, but I think I'm still running off of the 9th edition index for the actual army list itself for the Blood Angels. Not that I use a lot of Blood Angel specific things, mainly just the detachment rules. But because I definitely do not use Sanguinary High Priest rules. I use Apothecary rules, but I'm just painting them up as Sanguinary High Priests. Because the main reason I have 2 Apothecaries is because they have the ability to bring back models in one model from a unit that they're in at the start of your command phase. So as long as the unit's not dead, you can bring one of them back instantly without having to roll for it. You really should get him drunk before playing next time. I really should, yeah. He's a bastard. I love him. He's like a brother. Well, he's basically my brother at this point. But he gets on me freaking tits when he gets competitive. He takes things really freaking seriously. It doesn't get salty or anything. I'm the one that gets salty. Actually, I don't even get salty. I just start to zone out towards the end. It's like, well, not only is the mental energy kind of being worn out, it's like, really? I'm dying again? Okay. But also, a lot of it's my own fault. I don't think that tactically. It's why my little brother keeps kicking my ass at chess. Because he's thinking like 7 or 8 moves ahead. Or maybe even a little less than that. I'm barely considering the move that I'm on. I'm like that Heath Ledger's Joker. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? So yeah, oh wait, I've just realised I should have at least been switching this over, shouldn't I? Let's do that. There we go, much better. Sorry, I totally forgot that I didn't swap that over. War never changes. No, it definitely doesn't. You can tell I'm so used to doing the hobby streams. Totally. Then again, you don't come here for professional quality streaming, especially since I'm like streaming like once a blue moon these days. Like, I barely remember how my OBS works. I keep thinking of giving it a bit more of a go, but I just really can't be bothered. Although later today or tomorrow, I'm thinking of doing some Fallout 4 streaming. And before anybody asks, which I know there's only a couple of people here, which is fine, I don't expect much at this point, but it's not because I'm watching the series or anything. I haven't even touched the series yet. I just saw that they had an update, the next gen update, and it included more power armors. And I love power armors. Really, I wonder why. As a Space Marine player, do I love power armor in Fallout 4? My plan is actually to play through as my Space Marine character a bit more, because I've got less. He's level 41, 42 at the moment. I don't remember, because I just got the Science 2 and the, let's see, does that go? Yeah, that does. Okay, so it's just the butt plate that's still red. And below that, yeah, that goes silver as well. I just like keeping things consistent here, because I can never remember what the bloody hell I paint what colour. But I think I was going off of the original box art for just as inspiration as to what to do what colours. And here I'm not really painting them more thoroughly. I'm mainly just doing like a reverse dry brush almost. I say reverse dry brush. Instead of adding highlights, I'm adding shading back over the top. So I'm just recovering over the highlights that I overspilt into the areas that I didn't want to be a lighter colour. So at this point, and yeah, of course the camera's not focusing as well as I would like it to, because I thought I'd try actually removing the patterned box I was using cover underneath to protect my desk, because let's be honest, I know how to clean my desk. I bloody hope so, being the professional that I am. Right, yeah, that goes black all the way down here. But the question is, how is the music quality, the music volume, if you can hear it? Because I have no idea. I can't hear it because I have my headset plugged in. I'm just not using it, because that would distract me. I don't need to hear any game audio here, so. Because again, I can't remember. I couldn't find the audio I was using last time. Because most likely, 99 to 100% certainty, I'm going to be getting copyright. I'm going to be getting, not copyright striked, but my video is going to be getting flagged for non-monetization because it's probably copyrighted music, but I don't really care. I don't do this to make money off of this. I just do this because it's fun. Can't hear any? Okay. Let me try and turn it off for it then. There you go. Turned it up some. It should be some heavy metal and rock instrumental. Like I've doubled the volume now, so let me know if you hear it and if it is too loud or too quiet. Because I need to have something for if I'm not talking. Because I do often get, what's the word I'm looking for? Tunnel visioned into what I'm doing when I'm painting. And when that happens, I forget to talk. Right, so, okay, now the front. The front in the pistons and so on, and then I need to do the inside here. Because these all need to be silver at some point. Now the next question is, yeah, that section is also going to be silver, so that under there needs to be blacked out. Well, I can start hearing the music now. And my headset's like good ways over there. Well, did I unmute? No, desktop audio is not showing anything. Okay, that might be why. Let's turn it back down again. There we go. Now turn that down again. Yeah, no, it was. Turns out it was on the wrong thing. So hopefully it is coming through now. I've got it turned down fairly well. So yeah, no, turns out it was on the wrong channel, and I didn't notice. I had unmuted it, but it's been a while since I used this software, so. And it claims that it's about the same audio, same volume as my voice at the moment. So you might have to reevaluate that in a second and let me know. Because normally I would have game audio. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, how is it? Is it loud enough or is it too quiet or too loud? And yes, I know you're still at work, so you can't necessarily answer me all that easily. Right, time for the ankle. Yeah, it's already starting to look a lot more separated out. I still need to do all like the iconography and the decorations. And this is starting to really bug me that this camera's not focusing in as well as I would like it to. And I'm pretty sure I have it set to autofocus. And it's running low on battery. How is that running low on battery? That's supposed to be charging. Because I do have that plugged in. Because that's plugged into it as well. Let's change the. Okay, why is that not working? Right, where have you stopped? Let's turn you back on again. There we go. Why are you not charging? Oh, that's not supposed to be doing that. Huh, that's really weird. Yeah, it's on powerless last charge, so it should be charging. Oh well, I guess we'll find out if it is going to be charging or not. If the camera dies, then I might have to rethink what I'm doing. Because it is plugged in, it is connected to power, but the battery is actually draining on it. Because it was at a higher charge earlier today. So that's weird. I didn't think to charge it before the start of the stream. Because I wasn't sure what I was doing. Whether it was going to be a Fallout stream or whether this be this. Okay, so now, because that's one of the weird things about this particular model actually, because the legs on this one mainly, it was the feet were, I think one foot was specifically attached to the foot. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Let me see. Oh, it's pegged. That's why. So yeah, no, they were. I don't remember, but putting this together, with the legs were basically just one solid piece. With this one, the legs were a lot of freaking pieces, and that was an absolute pain in the ass to put together. This one was a lot less of a pain in the ass to put together. Yep. But I don't want to have more than one of these because it's mostly a mono pose. So if I were to get another one, I would want to be able to repose the legs and have it facing different directions. Because there are actually pegs inside which hold this in a very specific orientations and direction. Which is fine if you have one. But I don't like a lot of things looking the same. Because that's just not how things work. Like, I have a couple of mono poses in with the two Blood Angel combat boxes, because a couple of them are in incinerator or in furnace marines, I should call them, the ones that have the flamethrowers, and they are only the ones that you get in the box sets at least are mono posed. So I ended up cutting all the pegs on them so I could at least, on the heads at least, so I could at least reposition the heads and have them facing different ways, so at least they did look something different. And then I used different heads on them, and put in a few bits from the Blood Angel upgrade sprues to make them at least look different. And then I used different shoulder pads on them as well, because at least that way you've got some degrees of separation. Yeah. The reception sucks? That sounds great. And it looks like another bot's dropped in, so let's get rid of that one. Because that's always fun, when they see somebody with low viewer count. It's like, oh, let's try and sell them viewers. Yeah, piss off. I don't do this for getting viewers. I do this because it's one step above talking to myself. But yeah, don't worry about it, RJ. If you can't hang around, don't feel the need. Don't feel like you have to. I'm just going to keep do this until either I finish this model or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Also, happy birthday, Foreman. Thank you, Armin. Greatly appreciated. So, there we go. Let's see. Nope. Like I said, this is the most tedious part, because this is the bit that takes the longest freaking time. is just finding all those little nooks and crannies and every bit that needs to be added black again. Because like black is my second most used paint after red. And people wonder why all my D&D models... Then again, actually most of my D&D models are black and red, now that I think about it. Although I've been trying to get away from that a little bit more recently. Although for all of my Westerwolf characters, they're all going to be black and red. Except for one, because I have a duplicate of him, and I want to see what he looks like in white and red instead. Just because I think it'd be freaking hilarious to have an Assassin's Creed looking one. Okay, so where am I on the reblacking? Okay, I need some a slightly finer brush to get the scroll work down here, which you can't really see right now. Let's see if I can... Yeah, there's a scroll here, and then there's the chest eagle that needs to get dealt with. And I think... Oh, actually I could really do with reblacking out the stone under his foot. So let's do that first, and let's try and keep it in camera, so at least you guys can at least partially see what I'm doing, because I need to be able to see, but unfortunately the camera is directly above, and I can't really do much about that. I can't have an over-the-shoulder cam as much as I would like. I wanted to try doing that, but I don't have a tripod right now, which is why I just attached the camera up there. But it's entirely possible to do that in the future thing, if I feel like doing this more frequently. Yeah, let's re-black out more of the sand. I don't need to do as much of the sand itself, because that's going to be going brown after, and a little bit of red underneath the brown. You don't notice it. Especially since I actually go fairly heavily on the brown. I go more heavy on the brown than I did on the red. Alright, so that's that stone underfoot. I'm not going to bother with this little bit of red here on the sandy base, because that's going to get painted over brown anyway. But yeah, now I think that's a lot of it done, apart from the... Oh, there's the Mechanicus symbol on the back that also needs to be blacked out. So let's get rid of that brush. And yeah, my brushes are not exactly in the best of shape. So if anybody comes in and goes, "Oh no, your brushes, they look terrible," I know. It's because my painting techniques actually destroy brushes. And as long as they survive long enough for me to get the majority of what I need painted, I really don't care. I mean, I could start doing some of my start painting a couple of my Tyranids, but they take a ridiculously short amount of time to paint up. Now this brush is a little bit better off, although I do still have some which like my Artificer brushes, I at least keep them still in the plastic protection. But yeah, this should be fine enough for me to pick out all the detail here. Because all we're doing is just going over the chest eagle, which I'm not sure if I replaced this one or not. I don't think I did. I think I used this one specifically from the actual sprue that it came from, the actual box set that it came from for the Balistus. Because I have a Balistus Dreadnought as well. I have one of each of the Dreadnoughts now. And I didn't like the chest armor, or the torso armor on the Balistus, because I didn't like the crenellations at the top. I thought they looked dumb. So thankfully, the Redemptor Dreadnought, the one that I've been checking out every so often, this one, came with multiple chest armors. So I took one of those and put it on the Brutalis, and it looks a lot better in my eyes. I mean, I understand that it's supposed to have a bit more armour because it's up close and personal, which is also why the Balistus actually has the least amount of armour in relation to the rest of them. But I like things looking consistent. So, there we go. So we've got a couple of little tails drifting off down the bottom. I like to overload my brush a little bit so that I can just skim over the top, and the paint will just kind of like clip over the top of the bits that I want to paint. So these two little tails coming down, I want those to be re-blacked out. It's not strictly necessary, but because I'm going to highlight over it after, I like to have the shading ready-made, which is why I do this. Oh yeah, I've got one purity seal on the leg down there as well. And yeah, this camera's been a pain in the ass and just not focusing as well as I would like it to. Which is really annoying because it is actually it's not a webcam, it's an actual freaking proper camera. It's an old camera, but it should still work better than this. But, you know, it might just be the fact that I haven't got the best of lighting here. Right, let's try see if I can angle that down a little bit more. Let's even potentially try turning it up a little. Where's the dial gone? There it is. Turn it all the way up. Does that do any better? Nope. Okay. Just washes me out more. Let's leave it at that. Alright, well, it doesn't look like there's much I can do about it. I ain't a lighting engineer, so I don't know what the bloody hell I'm doing. I'm not even a sound engineer. Well, I say even. It's not like it's not like they're worse or less skilled or anything. What I just meant is I'm not that either, is what I meant. Because if the whole debacle with me thinking I had music earlier was a thing, yeah. And then realising it was playing through the wrong channel, so it wasn't being picked up. Yeah, that's about on par for what I usually end up doing. But yeah, let's bring that over here as well, so I can actually see over there as well. So yeah, now let's do this. Get you down there. There we go. That's that purity seal covered over. Let's get this around the side as well. That's mostly looking good. I don't need to worry about too much on the extreme edges of the model because I am going to be dry brushing over a lot. There we go, that's that as well. The Mechanicus symbol needs going over as well. I have to be careful to say the Mechanicus and not the Mechanicum, because the Mechanicum is the remnants of the original. Before it became the Mechanicus, the Mechanicum Civil War in the lore. Back when half the Mechanicum actually went over to Chaos, so they're now known as the Dark Mechanicum, or at least if I remember what I've been watching in lore videos correctly. Because there's been a lot of lore development since I stopped playing back in the day. Like Papa Smurf coming back. And Mr. Johnson. Sir Johnson, maybe. Otherwise known as the Primarch of the Dark Angels. Which, again, I'm still salty about because my Primarch's dead. So I can't do jack about that. There we go, that's all the black reapplied. At least as far as I can tell. Let's close that up so I don't accidentally flirt paint all over the frickin' apartment and the floor and my desk. Because that would suck and I don't want to do that. So the next one would actually be... Where is it? Nope, that's Mechanicus Grey. Although I will need that at some... actually do that as much. But because it's a larger model, generally I don't bother highlighting the black because it's fine as it is. I'll probably need the Null Oil at some point just to tone down the silver. Nope, I don't want the Grey Knights, I want the other one. Where is it? There it is. Right on the top. Iron Hand Steel. So that'll be the next one. Picking out all of the silver areas next, because that's basically the next largest thing to do. Is that. So then I need to decide what's going to be what colour where. You can clean that up. What, this one? I could probably... There are some bits where I overspilt a little bit on the silver, but I really can't be bothered. You don't see him that much on the tabletop. And I've already varnished it, so I might deal with that a bit later. Oh wait, that's another one of Abaddon's blacks. That's the one that's a bit gone too thick, so that will get chopped now. I'll be needing some green later. So Warbox green I'll probably be needing. I'll be needing some gold as well. Retributor armor gold. So I'm looking through my paints at the moment with them in my lap. So Retributor's gold I'll be needing at some point. Probably Balthazar gold as well. What else? I'll be needing for... I've got the greens. There's not really going to be any blues on this guy, I don't think. I need to put some transfers on as well later, but I need... Where is the... Yep, the bone, whatever it's called. Ushabti bone. And the one that I use below that one. Actually, I should use the dust. I don't know. It's fine. Is it this one? Yeah, Kislev flesh. That's the one I put underneath for the purity seals and so on. And for the Crux Terminatus and so on. So yeah, I'll also probably need this one, the Moot Green, for highlighting the purity seals. The actual wax section. And for doing the lenses, I'll need the Vulcan green. And some white. Where's my white? Corax white, there it is. Need that one. And I can't think at the moment of any other colours I would need. Well, Celestia Grey for the base. I'll also need Mournfang Brown for the base. I think that's about it for the moment. What's that in there? Oh yeah, that's the old school teleport home. Back from like 3rd edition, before they updated it. Oh yeah. Itchy, there we go. Right, so next up will be the silver. Ever tried painting chrome? No, I haven't. The carpet? Yeah. You know what? I was too busy paying attention to my paints. I don't know what that was in relation to, RJ, sorry. So, yeah. The hell was it doing? Silver. That was it. Oh, doing my usual mixing and my wrist cracked. Ow. That hurt. You can tell I'm getting old. But using my technically this is a shade brush, but I use it for dry brushing. Or over brushing as the case may be. Since I actually technically do dry brushing, but the paint is much wetter. I don't remove anywhere near as much as I would need to for actual dry brushing. My thought on the weapon, at least, is to have the main body here be black, and silver from here over to here, and then have the end caps be black. And this extension out the bottom is going to be black as well. The cabling here needs to be green, is my plan, and then silver for the one underneath. The back end of the weapon I'm going to have silver, so I can work on that now. Because this is more like the industrial side of it. And then everything underneath, behind the armor plating here, is going to be silver. And this is the best part about overbrushing, is it goes so ridiculously quickly. This is why I love this painting technique. And question, yeah, those were silver as well. Let's go wedge this up behind, underneath the armor plates, so that I'm not picking out the actual. I'm not hitting the red as much. I don't mind getting a little bit of overspill onto the red with the silver, because doing that just makes it look like battle damage and paint chips. But if it was to happen more, then I'd be a bit more upset. So yeah, my plan is to have this be about silver and... Yeah, I think I'll have the majority of this actually be silver until it actually reaches the end cap. Because I would like to have more black on there, but there are no gradients. There's no, well, not a gradient, but there's no... there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no, like... The only thing I can think of is the word grense, which is Norwegian. Which I can't think... I've forgotten the English translation for, which is really annoying. Since English is my first language. Border. There we go, there's no border between the bit that I wanted to be black and silver. So actually, no, actually, come to think of it, there is actually a border there. So I could just keep the back section, so I just have to re-black this section out again now. Ah, yay. Because, yeah, I don't want to have too much silver. Let's look it up there as well. So yeah, now that I've noticed that there was actually a border there rather than... Yeah, use grense, border. Yeah, pretty much. Like we said before, RJ, it's the fact that Norwegian is a very Germanic language, or it is a Germanic language. And now I'm putting a little bit more paint on the brush, and I'm just dragging it over just to pick up the specific highlights here. I'm going to be toning this down later with some with the black wash. But this is where I want the banding to stand out more. And I don't want to have to go over every individual every individual thing, so that's just why I do it this way, because it just works so much faster. And then I've got to work out which way to orient my brush so that the errant bristles that's generally build up after this level of abuse that is levied on the brush won't actually interact as much with the areas where I don't want it to. And then, so the next section here is going to be the barrels, so they're going to be silver up until this point. And then the caps are going to be black, and I'm going to get a bit of silver on the pieces here. But most las cannons are not double braced like this one, because this one's twin linked. Okay, so that's looking good. I want this section down the bottom to be a bit more silver, I think. So you. A bit more with you, a bit more with you, a bit more there. And also that piping under there needs to be silver. And then I actually need to start working on the legs, the silvering for the legs. I missed a bit you. And there. Yeah, the entire back of the legs needs to be silvered. And then I need to re-black out another section. Like I said, the one that I didn't realise I needed to have black. Because, as I stated previously, do I really look a man with a plan? No, I do not. And the reason I like to just overbrush, dry brush, whatever you want to call it, the silver on, is I like to leave the backing black showing, because that way it looks like dirt, grime, battle damage, whatever. And if I want things to look a bit more consistent, I'll just add a little bit more silver in, and just more heavily fill up the brush. Excuse me. My apologies. That was very uncivilized of me. The main downside to this technique is there's usually a lot of overspill if you're not really careful. I've had a lot of experience using this particular technique, so I know just the right amount of pressure to put on certain points to try not to overflow as little as humanly possible. There we go. The next one is actually going to be the front of the missile launcher here. So that is going to be silvered. I might as well just go over this, because I'm going to be blocking out a lot of this anyway. Yeah, a little bit more down in this corner. You really need to remember what we're not in chat here. Yeah, no, you can't talk to me at the moment. I know we're so used to spending after work in chat every freaking day, especially when we're watching stuff. But yeah, no, you can't. You literally can't just talk out loud. It doesn't work that way, especially since I don't have my headset on. Right, oh no, ankles. Still need to do the ankles. And I think I'm mostly finished with the black, not the black, the silver. Or if not, entirely finished with the silver. Because I'm not going to be highlighting the silver very much, because I don't want it to stand out to be that bright too much. I like there to be a lot of black on the model to kind of counteract all the red. Because I'm not the typical Blood Angels painter that likes my my Marines to be basically neon red. I like mine to be a little bit more kind of rugged and down to earth, let's say. Oh wait, no, I do need a bit more silver here, but I need a smaller brush for that. And around here. So I need a smaller brush to finish that off. And then I'll be able to get rid of the silver. So let's get me smaller brush. I don't really care about it being damaged. first things first, with a bit more paint on the brush, I can get over the storm bolter barrels. I don't need to paint the entire thing because the areas that I don't cover give the illusion of shading, or the illusion of shadow. So I've only got to get like the bits that I feel like would actually have, that would be in the light. So yeah, there we go. That looks much better. Oh, bugger! Why am I drying the washing brush off? I still have a little bit more silver to put in that I totally forgot about. And this actually needs to be a little drier, because this is going into here above the sarcophagus. And yeah, so those two. And a little bit here, a little bit down there. And cover over that little bit of red that I missed earlier. That's fine, okay. That's just a little bit of highlighting in there. That's going to get... It looks a bit messy, but the details are going to get covered over with other colours later. Mostly... actually... Yeah, I already hit that piece. Yeah, and that's going to be green. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, now time for the black again, which I thought I was done with. Where have I put the black? Did I put it away? No? Yes? Maybe? I don't know. Yes, I did. So let's hydrate a little bit. Oh, that's better. And I keep forgetting. Oh, bugger, my coffee's open. Let's close that down. Okay, so we can cover over this again. And the actual edging. The edging plate here. Let's move you over here so I actually don't have to keep moving the model out of the way. Okay, so that's that. Now I can neaten this little bit up. I didn't finish that as nice as I would have wanted to. But as long as the model looks great from a distance, it's not a huge issue. Because it's not very often you pick up a enemy player's model off the table and go, oh, look at this, or look close. I spend more time and more detail on my character models. I don't bother as much on the basic troops or the things that are not a centerpiece, let's say. As cool as Dreadnoughts are, to me they're not centerpiece models. I just want to get them to a playable level. But yeah, the question is, do I want this section around the outside back edge to be silver still, or do I want that to be black? Because the front section is black, so I need to get a little bit into the lip here as well. I feel like it would match better if I painted it black as well now. Like this section here. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. I'll extend the black further out and see where it starts looking good, where I can actually leave it with the rest silver. Because the vent exhausts need to be silver. Well, at least I want them to be silver. because there's silver in there, didn't I? That needs to be blacked out again. Because this lighting is a little bit restrictive, I can't really see what I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, these 6 sections here, I think they might still look good as silver. So I'll go around those and just have everything else be black. Let's see how that looks. Because they are protruding around the same level as the vent, the exhaust vents. I think that looks a lot better. Oh, I missed a bit. So yeah, that's looking better. Oh, wait, okay. Forgot the stacks. Of course I did. So yeah, they need to be silver. And I'm also happy that this is one of the one of the Dreadnought's variants that doesn't have a weapon mounted on the top. Because I don't mind the one on the Redemptor Dreadnought, but the one on the Brutalis Dreadnought, where it's got two anti-aircraft guns at the top, I think it must look really dumb. Of course I put the silver away. The fool that I am. When you assume that you're finished with something and put it away, there's a surefire way of finding out you missed something within the next 10 minutes. How long have we been going for anyway? An hour and 15 minutes. Wow. Because believe it or not, we haven't really got that many more colours to go. It's mainly just detail work after this. As long as all the main 3 colours are all blocked out, it's all good. And the main 3 colours are just silver, red and black.
Best music compilation.
Or in order, it's red, black, silver. Because usually I don't put as much silver on a model. At least for Space Marines themselves. And of course I've missed the entire enemy here. Because it's all still freaking red. So of course, like I said, the second you put things away, it's when you realise that you still need them. And I could just go over with silver, but you'd still be seeing the red showing through. Which would be really freaking annoying. And this is how my usual painting sessions go, especially when I'm doing production line painting. When I'm just like painting one colour, moving on, painting one colour, moving on. Is when I get back to the original, get back to the start to use the next colour, and I realise I missed like something like 3 steps ago. Doesn't take that long to fix it, but it's a pain in the butt. Yeah. Okay. So, question. I have frag and crack missiles, and those I paint specific colours. Question is, they're red. I paint them red and blue. No, red and green. Even. Because the blue are for the Icarus missiles. Because I have the fragmentation missiles as being red, the crack missiles being green. So, yeah. For that, I'll probably do corn red. Have a nice darker red this time. It's actually my first time opening this particular paint. I only bought it like about a couple of days to a week ago. I haven't... No! Bugger you! I haven't got around to using it yet. Actually, you know what? Bugger it. Let's use the Mephiston. Mephiston's actually going to be a lighter colour. So I'm thinking having the innermost ones be red. So the innermost 4 missiles can be red, and the outer one's going to be green. And I'm just going to splodge this over until it's kind of uniform. Oh, it's the very not exactly uniform, but where it's consistently all the way around, and not uniform, not uniform as in that, but it just has a consistent. It reaches a consistent diameter around the outside, because at least that way it looks like it's a actual missile going in, and it's not just had something slapped paint over the top. I need to get it far enough back where it almost meets the base, but not far enough back that I lose the black edging. Or the black shading around it, because if I went all the way in, it would just look like a toy at that point. And I'm fully aware that it is, I just don't want it to look like one. So there we go. That's the red missiles, and now I need to do the green missiles. And while I'm doing the green missiles, I can also do the green on the purity seals. So I'm going to start with Warboss green. And do the same thing, getting it as far back as I can without actually getting into the actual crevice itself. So check where I'm at my positioning, which I'm forgetting I'm not doing all the time because I ain't a professional painting streamer. I'm just some random dude. Who would have thought? There we go, that's that side. Flip it over. Yeah, the other side. I need to get a bit more paint on this brush to hold the bristles together, because I've abused this brush no end. There is some kind of gel you can get, which is kind of like almost like hair gel kind of thing, which holds the bristles of the brush together easier. And I'm tempted, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's worth buying an entirely new product just to preserve a brush a little bit longer. There we go. So the frag and crack missiles. And next, actually I need to get the black again. God damn it. Just realised I need to paint up a couple of lenses, and they're all silver at the moment. So the lenses need to be re-blacked again. There's only 2 lenses. There's this one here. And then there's this one over here. Then again, technically there's this one here. So that's 3 lenses. And I see I overspilt onto the black a little bit here. So I'll edge that out. And that one there. The rest of it looks fine. Itchy nose. And then this section here actually could do a bit more black than that one there. That's looking better. I also need to get the silver back out again to cover over this inner knee that I forgot the first time. So let's get you, and you, where I accidentally hit you with silver earlier. Because I'm also wondering whether or not I want these vertical braces to be black. At the very least, the forward ones feel like they should be, but then again, the back ones would feel like they should be as well. I'll leave it for now, and I'll see how I feel later. I may end up changing it in the future, post-stream. But I'll see how I feel at that point. Could probably do hitting the wiring here a little bit more with black, just get rid of the silver. Just either side of each of the metal braces I painted up. So that won't show through on the green later. I mean, on my Devastators, I haven't actually painted the wire bundles green because I forgot and only noticed after I'd finished and varnished them. Because, you know, I am smart. SMRT. Yeah, that's not a lens at the back. Yeah, that feels fine. Right, time for the silver again. Hopefully for the last time. And I like painting up the Crux Terminatus to look a little bit like kind of bone-ish. So this thing here. So that's going to be done similarly to the Purity Seals. Ooh. And I realised there's another part that I forgot to do silver as well. Yeah, I said I was going to do the Purity Seals straight away with the green, and I forgot. So welcome to how I end up painting. I mean, technically this shouldn't actually be a barrel, this should be a lens here, but I think it looks fine. I think it looks better in silver. Because if I didn't do it silver, it would feel wrong to me. And that's fine, because there's no real cannon here. Well, there is a cannon, it's a las cannon. But I mean, it's not. There's no canonical, particularly of a painting that I know of. And if there is, I don't care. If it doesn't match what I like, then I don't care. So back to the green. So let's do that. Let's get the green out of the way. Since the green is like one of the heavier accent colours that I use. And I'm going to have a little green dot here. And there, for like a targeting laser. And the same on the other side. Then I can hit up get a little bit more on there. Hit up the top, the wax sections of the Purity Seals. So around the perimeter first, and then knock it into the middle. I'm going to highlight these anyway, so it doesn't matter if I'm a little bit too heavy-handed here. But yeah, that's the green on the Purity Seals. It's not showing up as well on the camera, unfortunately. There's one Purity Seal on the front. So that's here. Because like I said, it doesn't matter if I overpaint these ones a little bit at the moment, because they are going to get highlighted with a lighter green. So it's going to end up making them look more three-dimensional anyway. I just like to leave a little bit of shading in there, so at least it looks it looks more 3D than 2D. Okay, I have one on the back as well. I almost missed this one. It's a good thing I actually thought to rotate the model and check. So yeah, this actually feels like it needs a bit more. To at least get things a bit more consistent. Oops. Oh well. Okay, so that's that. And I need to close that one down for the moment, since I'm working on greens anyway. Actually, wait. I'll do some golds first before I move on to the next greens. Or will I? Yeah, I will. Because I need to do greens into the cabling down, channeling down here. But I want to get the gold out of the way first. So that's going to start out with the Balthazar gold. So, oh joy, my wrist did not crack this time. Let's remove. There we go. We can go over here so I can see what I'm doing exactly. Just removing a bit more of the paint off my brush. I don't want it to be too dry, but I don't want it to be too wet either. Because this is where I am. Do I have? No, are they? No, those are black still. Okay, good to know. So this is where I'm just adding the initial colour into the ring, like the edging to the sarcophagus. This is going to be highlighted later with a bit more of a lighter gold. So this is just getting the base colour down first. Right now, I feel like I'm being a bit more sloppy with my work than I usually am. But it's not a problem. It's going to look fine in the end. And that's going to be a bit... Oh, I'll do that a different colour. So, there we go. Get the edging over. And I also need to do the little view slit as well. So that's going to be added in and just using the edge of the brush to pick it up so that it's, and make sure it doesn't actually make contact with the black underneath. Yeah, okay. You see that actually extends a bit further up to there. There we go. Looking good. Now sometimes I like to do these eagles in like a bronzy colour, but I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to do it black. Keep it in. I'm going to keep the wings black, so they need a little bit of a grey highlight later. But next is going to be like the scroll work and the crux terminatus, as well as the paper on the purity seals. So while that's drying, it won't take too long to dry. I'll get the Kislev flesh. Yeah, that needs to be mixed a little more. I'm sure I've got it fully closed. And this needs to dry out a little bit more, so that it's a bit more of a, like a bony kind of dry feel. So we'll get the skull while it's still a bit wet. Does that? No, it doesn't have a halo around it. I wasn't sure, because the chaplain one does. And then I can pick out the... I'm just using the edge of the brush here to make contact with the scroll work. Because I'm holding it at an angle so that certain parts of this are not hit by the paint. Because I want to still leave some recesses of a little darker colour underneath. So I don't want it to be fully uniform, and I want to leave some shading on there. We're going to amplify that illusion later with some more highlighting. Yeah, that's that. So that's the scroll work under the eagle sorted. And I also want a little bit more here so I can pick out the edges first on the Terminator iconography here, the crux terminatus. And again, just using the edge of the brush trying not to hold the brush far enough down where I will actually hit the red underneath. And then I can... yeah, I buggered that one up a little bit too much paint on that one. But it's fine, I can fix that with a wash later. I'm trying to highlight all the individual different sections without hitting the recesses, like so. So it already looks a bit more 3D, but it's still going to get some more highlights later. And then a little bit of paint off, because I just realised I've got this one here that I forgot about until now. What a lot of people, a lot of new painters don't realise is brush positioning and brush angling is a big part of how you pick out a 3D model. Because it's not like you're painting on a 2D surface. You're painting the model you are painting is in 3 dimensions. As I've got less paint on the brush now, I can go over there and do sideways strokes over the purity seal paper. And pick those out, just like that. And I can hit the back, there's the side as well, so the angles that you're going to see. Because if you can't see it from when you're usually looking at the model, then what's the point of wasting the paint on it? So the standard angling that you're going to be seeing things from. There we go. Again, leaving certain parts of it, like the little black spots that I've left, so it looks more like shaded. It looks old and worn. And then I've got one on the back and one on the foot. So I've got this one. I feel like I've got a little bit too much paint on the brush, but it should be fine. Yep, okay. Need to do a little bit of sideways motion. There we go, that looks a bit better. And I've got ankle. There it is. His ankle bracelet. Not his ankle bracelet, but his ankle seal. Just called it an ankle bracelet because it sounded funny in my head. And then I said it out loud and it didn't sound as funny. But we still also have the scroll work here, and my brush is starting to dislike the abuse that I'm giving it. So a little bit more paint on the brush to keep it together, and again just the edge and just the tip. Just the tip's fine, right? There we go, so that's the most annoying parts over and done with, the two little edges of the scrolls at the top. And again, this is a little bit too much paint on the brush, but it's done the job. I have gone over a little bit, there's a little line here with red, I've gone onto the red. But I can fix that fairly easily with a bit more red. But yeah, it's starting to come together now. I mean, it still needs some shading, so I need to put a wash over the scroll work before I highlight it. But I can't do that just yet. Alright, now I need a smaller brush. I have a feeling I've just picked... Yeah, it's fine. This is not an exact science. what I've got now is the Vulcan green. What I'm doing with this is going over the lenses actually, and I'm hitting about 2/3 of the bottom the bottom corner. So I'm going around the bottom, basically between, let's say, 1 and 8 o'clock on the clock. So I'm hitting that side. You can't see much because there's very little difference. I've done about halfway. Hit about half of the lens at the bottom. To me, it's the bottom right. Now the reason for that is because we're going to be building up a technique here, making something look reflective. So next is going to be the War Boss green, which I was just using for the purity seals and the missiles. And this one, I'm going to be using roughly about the same amount of paint, but we're not quite going to be hitting the same amount. I'm doing less of a semicircle around the outside edge. So about half again the amount of coverage than what we had for the Vulcan green. I'm fully aware that I'm probably going to need this paint again in a minute, but I'm focusing on what I need to focus on right now. Oh no, that was the paintbrush I was using, so this is a different one. And yes, I do realise that I am sucking off my brushes. And next is a white. There's a spot of white, so let's reduce that amount there. Put a little dot in the top left to me. A little bit more. There we go. So I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera, but I've now got my lenses with 4 colours on the lenses. You can see them just above each of the weapons with a little dot of white on there. So at the top left, it's the white dot surrounded by black, and then that goes into the dark green, and then further down from that is light green, or lighter green. I could put like a little bit of a very small semicircular line just around the outside, the bottom edge, with a much lighter green, but I can't be bothered. And it doesn't really add that much to it. So, what's next? I need some more greens. Well, the green that I've just put away, let's get that back out again. And let's hit up some wiring. So we've got this wire that extends from the actual body of the Dreadnought itself. I'm going to have one on the other side as well. So that's a little bit of extra coloration behind there. And I want these bundles of wires to be green as well, but I'm not sure really. So I'm going to need a different brush for that. I'll leave it for now, since the other bundles of wires are still black on my actual Devastators. So for consistency's sake, I'll leave it for now. Like I said, I might change my mind later, and if that's the case, then I will fix all of them at the same time. What's the next thing I want? The next thing I want is actually a wash, which I have not brought out yet. No, that's Seraphim Sapia, that's not the one I want. Where is the one I want? Is this it? Reichland Fleshy, yes here it is. Because the Sapia one I use for doing Blood Angel hair, to make blonde hair. So this one, I'm going to get a good dollop of it on the end of my brush. And first of all, I'll take a little bit off. And then I'll drop a spot over there. Actually, can I think of it? There we go. And I will plonk quite a bit of it over on the Crux Terminatus there. I'll also drag some over here onto the skull and the little scroll work there. I'm just trying to pull enough of it so it pools in the centre. Here is a little bit too much, so this is, I can actually use this as a refill to take a bit more off when I put some more on the purity seals. The purity seals I don't need to be as careful with, since they hold the ink or the wash way more easily. It's the rounded surfaces of the skulls and so on that are more of a pain in the ass. And you have to be very careful about how much you put on. And a little bit more. And do the same down here to tone this one down. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's the ankle one here, and there's one on the back, which I can't remember if I've already done or not. I have not. So yeah, the way these ones are, the way the paper sections on the purity seals are, the way they're contoured, it makes it way easier for it to hold on to the wash. And now I see that this has still got way too much on, so I can actually pull a bit, dry the brush off, and then pull some off with the brush using osmosis. And now I need a tiny bit more there. Yeah, that'll do. Because that's one of the issues with this, is the freaking... because sometimes surface tension works in your favour, sometimes it doesn't. Right, now as that is going to dry there, because this is already looking way better than when we started, I'm going to start working on the base, I think. So I need to wait for the washes to dry now before I do any more highlighting up there. So, first things first, I am going to work on the grey, or the stone that's going to be there. So the first thing I'm going to use is Celestra Grey. Celestra Grey, even. Now that one, I need my mid-ish brush, I think. Normally I would use a bigger brush for this, because I'm doing the dry brushy bit, but I need to get around the feet, the foot first. Oop, so you know, let's move you out of the way again. So I've rubbed a lot of the paint off, and I'm just taking it out over the actual stone. That might be a little bit less than what I would like, because again I'm using a smaller brush, so the paint isn't going as far. I want it to be a bit more consistent. I still want there to be, yeah, there we go. I still want there to be shadows and stuff there, but I do want it to be, there we go. Because I can put a wash over here as well if I need to. Because I can put a black wash over. But at the very least, I can use the smaller brush to edge around the actual feet so that I'm not going to overflow too much and have to fix it. So if I don't have to fix it, then the amount of extra time this is taking is being offset by the amount of time I would need to be using to fix it if I wasn't being as careful. And then after that I can move to the larger brush if I need to, but I don't think I will, since around the feet there's not that much more in the way of surface area to cover. So My plan is to have these two sections picked out, these two little arches picked out in silver. So I'm going to have to re-black over some of this again. And we've got some, what looks like Tyrannid goo here, which is fine, I suppose. A couple of my models do have that already. But yeah, that's pretty much that sorted. Worst comes to, if it looks a bit too bright later on, I will just tone it down with a wash. A black wash, or even a brown wash maybe. There's that. So, I'm not going to re-black out the section yet. I'm going to do the brown first. Ow! God, I missed. So now I do need a larger brush. And question is, which one? Because this is a fairly large base, but even so, I think I'll just go with my my shade brush. Because as much as I would like to take this faster, it's not going to work out as well if I end up cocking this up and going over the hitting my guy's feet. Now I'm not even going to. I'm just going to use the rim of the pot to take the paint off. Because then I'm just going to use the side of the brush and just drag it over the sand that I glued to the base prior. And I still need a fair amount of paint on the brush for this to work. I'll do a bit more because now it's turning up brown rather than red. So because when I was dry brushing or over brushing earlier with the red, it's basic because I use a lot less paint on the brush at that point when I was using that technique. So using way more paint on the brush is just swamping out the red. And now I can now I've got further away from the worrying parts. I can just overload the brush a bit more and then just do back forth strokes over the black. Some areas are obviously, because I'm overloading the brush, they're going to get a bit more paint than others. That's fine. I can either even it out or I can ignore it and just play into it. Because some of this is going to get evened out with the next layer of highlight. So then I can pick out this section here and just go over the overflow of grey, actually. Because again, using more paint I can go over it, and if worse comes to worse I can bring it all together with a wash. Because it doesn't matter if those two mix together a little bit, because it's not like we need a hard border between the brown and the grey, because that's not how things work. You are going to have dust and you are going to have debris overspilling from one to the other, so it doesn't matter overly, like I said, if the border between these two overflows a little bit. I mean, if it's particularly egregious, I will fix it later, but right now the brown is looking fairly well covered, a good amount of coverage. And a bit later, after I do the next level of highlight, I actually do need to paint around the outside of the rim in the same Mornfang brown. But I might do that later, I might do that on camera, I might do that off, I don't know, we'll see. Because it's going to be a pain in the ass, let's be honest. I'll be honest. Because I need to do 2 coats. And I need something to put it on, because it will get paint on my desk. And that's fine, I can clear up the paint off my desk, but it's going to be a pain in the butt, and I'd rather not have to deal with that. Actually, I do have a cloth here, so that could work, actually. Although I would prefer something a little bit more solid. And I do still have the piece of cardboard I was using for the last time. So let's just use some of that. Yeah, sure. That side will work. Put you over here for now, so it's out of the way. And now I need the dust, or the bone. So the Ushabti bone. So I'll get some of this, I'll load the brush up, take as much as we can out. Because this one, I am actually going to be removing a good amount. So let's do so, like that. And let's rub over the top, see if that looks about right. No, that's a bit too much still. I'll take a bit more off. And then, just with the edge of my brush, again, the side of the brush, I will rub this over. You'll see that it's picking up all the highlights of the sand. But it's not doing it everywhere, so it's just making the sand two-tonal now. Well, actually, no, technically it's three tones, because there's the black underneath. In some areas, there's just other colours as well. So it's making it just look more and more natural. Now, hopefully, I have just enough on here. No, I need to put a bit more on. As much as I would have loved to have just had that much, not have to open the pot again. I mean, I used to use the Reichling Flesh Shade for this, but then I was finding out that everything was looking a bit samey. Like, tonally wise, like the base was starting to... In some parts of the base was starting to look very similar in tone to the purity seals, or the bones that I like to paint on. So I've started diversifying a little bit. Plus I use the Ushabti bone for... is it the Ushabti bone? I think it's the bone? Yeah, it might be the bone that I use for making blonde hair. I either use it for the highlights or the main colour, because I paint blonde hair on my Blood Angels. A little bit more over there. A little bit more between the feet. It doesn't need to be totally even, but it doesn't need to be too patchy either. So there we go. Again, the camera's not doing a great job of picking up the contrasts here. And I just realised I've accidentally put a big blob of freaking colour on its head, so that I can fix. It's really freaking annoying. So with a wet brush, I'll just drag that over the top, and that's not coming up as well as I would like it to. So let's see. Can I get more of that up? I can. Good. And I've got more over here. Wow. Lovely. But it's fine. I can fix this fairly easily. It doesn't necessarily come up there. I have to be careful what I have on my freaking fingers from now on, because I do this I do this fairly often. So I have actually developed a way of fixing this. What have we got over here? That's Mephiston. I don't want Mephiston. I want the corn. So corn red. Take some more out. Dry it down. And then there we go. It's going to dry a little darker maybe. That's fine. If I need to, I will re-highlight that later. So yeah, when I'm swapping between pots all the time, like this, at this particular point in time, this is when I am making the most cock-ups. But yeah, now I need to do some more highlights, so I need a smaller brush. You know. Not you, we'll use you maybe? Like that, all the ones I've got. Yeah, actually you are better, because you've still got a bit more of a tip. So we're back to the bone, the one that I just got all over the freaking model, and I just realised I still have. Sorry, I just realised when I was washing off the paint at the top, I dribbled a lot of it down into the cables here. But that's fine. Dry brush, just a dry brush brought down, or a mostly dry brush, with a bit of water, tiny amount of water on there, will actually pull it up using like capillary action with the like osmosis. So that works. Now again, Ushabti bone. I'm going to check my fingers, make sure I haven't got anything on there now. And the washes should be dry enough so that I can just do some downward motions with the Ushabti bone to just pick out a bit more of the highlights again, just like the top edges. And a little bit of streaky kind of goodness over the actual thing. So yeah, I'm not sure how well this is going to pick out, but the bit more of a highlight on the scroll work. And again, on the actual purity seals, I don't need to be as careful, so I'll just remove a bit more paint, and then just sideways motion picks out the highlights, and then just downward motion on the actual skulls. And again, I need a bit more paint this time around because I just realised I've still got this scroll work at the bottom to do. So on this one I'm going to be a bit more careful because this is a lot flatter. So I'm just going to edge paint the top. So I'm not going to be dry brushing too much here. I'm going to be putting the highlights in a bit more manually. So that's that. I don't like doing that too much because it's has a different feel. I realise I just got paint on my finger there, so I didn't actually. Thankfully, I didn't get it on my model. There we go. That's that one. A little bit more down here on this ankle seal, and a little bit on the back. There we go. So they're all a bit more multi-tonal now. Now, the crud on the actual base itself. By what I mean by the crud, actually I need to put some black first, don't I? I do. Let's reblock out those two little tubes that I popped out, those two little channels that are coming out, the two little tiny little archways. They look like sewer vents, sewer grates almost. I'll just re-black those out because those are going to be silver. And there's a little bit of rebar sticking out of the concrete here. There we go. That's that. And there's a couple of more pieces around the back as well, which I didn't spot until now. So there's one piece of rebar coming out here, and another one here. And I think that's it for the rebar. Yes, it is. Now I'll leave that a little bit of time to dry. So I will move on to the next gold actually. So this one is Redemptor Gold, Retributor Gold even. I can read honest. Wipe a bit of that off and then just start just highlighting it over mostly the edges just to bring it up a little bit. I don't want to put too much. I don't want to put it too far down. I just want to highlight the edges to make it look like it's more 3D. And this is going to matte out a little bit more when I varnish it later. There we go, that looks fine. I can start highlighting the black as well. So for that, I'm going to need the Mechanicum Grey. Mechanicus Standard Grey, even. With this one, I'm actually going to fold this around a little better so I can have more fresh edges. I don't want much for this. And this, I'm literally just, because there's a lot of angled edges, I'm just going to flick it over the edges. Using the edge of the brush. This is just to kind of highlight, just do edge highlighting. I don't like doing edge highlighting much, but with big items like these, you kind of need to. I'm not going to do all of them. It's just the big prominent ones I'm going to hit. Because it's a big block of black that needs to be broken up a little bit. And it's mainly only the ones that are going to be mostly showing. So like the obvious ones, the obvious edges. And I think that's about it. That's all I really need to do. A little bit around here actually. Just again the most prominent sides. And then a little bit on the chest eagle. Just to bring out the texture of the feathers. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's go grab a plate in a minute to start working on transfers. Because we're rapidly approaching that time. Now, what else was I wanting to do? That was it. Silver. I'm kind of glad that I forgot about the knee until now. Because I still have the inner knee that needs doing. So that's that one. And then, a little bit more. Just to repoint the brush. And then I can pick over the two little grates down here. Again, I'm not going all the way because I want an outline of black. And just drag the brush over the grate bars so that it picks them out, but leaves everything else shaded. And then again, the opposite direction to pick up the bits on the other side that I missed the first pass through. So that's that, and then there's the rebar that he's covering. Doesn't require a lot, just enough to get them to stand out. Now I could also throw a brown wash over them as well to make them look a bit rusty, but I don't really want to. Okay, so next thing is going to be the Tyrannid goop. So overloading my brush a little bit. And I'm going to have to put this at a really awkward angle because I can't see what this is and have you guys see it. Actually, no, I think I can just about manage. Now this, I'm going to be just hitting the top edges in green. Because this looks like the same kind of Tyrannid gloop that comes up on some of the other models that I have. Now there's a reason that I overload my brush a little bit, because I'm not actually pressing the brush down. The bristles are making barely any contact here. What's happening is I'm just using the edge of the paint bubble, the paint blob, to make contact so that it's kind of doing the work, all the surface tension is doing the work for me. So there we go, so that's that, and it still has the black edging underneath. I've got a bit more around the back here actually. So overload the brush again, maybe not quite that much, but it's also because it keeps another reason why I'm overloading the brush is because it's keeping the bristles together and they don't start bloody wandering over the model. And again, sorry, I know you can't see that well at this point, so you might need to clip one of those bristles off, but I'm having to hold this model at a really awkward angle for me to see as well. Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's pretty much it. Now I am going to cover this over with a black wash as well, just to tone it down a touch. And also add some more shading in there. And now I've got the really light green out, I can take a bit more off and then just use this to highlight over the purity seals to make them pop a little more. Because we had the War Boss green on first, and now we're using the, whatever the hell it is, Moot green. Just to do a touch of extra highlighting. And got that one, got that one, got that one. So one on the back, that's lacking now. I have surprisingly few colours left to put on this now. The main big thing left to do is the base rim. Because some people like to... Oh, okay. I've got paint all over my desk. That's fine, I can remove that. So, next one up would be the Nuln Oil, or otherwise known as Skill in a Bottle, which you will notice that we have not used until now. So I'm going to use this to, let's see, let's put a little bit over the coils here, just to shade out the recesses a bit more. I'm going to use a bit over in the around the sarcophagus to kind of shade that down a little bit, and a little bit over the actual black, not over the black, over the gold, to tone that down a little bit. Because I believe that's what I did with the previous one. Just add a little bit extra shading in there. Because I'm not one of these guys that just dips me model in Nuln. I really don't like that. It adds way too many kind of bubbly and drippy textures to it, and I don't like that. I like to add it tactically. Yeah, now the last piece I can think of that requires a little bit of Nuln is, actually let's overfill, because we're going to dip and drop it. Here we go, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to drop it around the green. The reason I'm overfilling is so it pools around the green to make it kind of stand out more, and it's not, it looks like it's not part of the colour scheme around it. So you can see there, it's actually added shading around it, which is isolating it away from the rest of the colours there. So we've got the one at the back, which is, and let's have a look. Yeah, there's not much of a difference that shows up on camera at the moment, but to the naked eye, the Mark 1 eyeball, as the Mighty Jingles would say, it is a lot more vivid and a lot more noticeable. So it shows up a little bit more there, and when it dries it'll be less noticeable on the grey. But I have noticed I've overdone a little bit on the brown there, so I'll throw a little bit of Nuln there to tone that down. And there we go. Now a lot of this is mostly done. The next big thing to do is actually get the transfers on here, and I need 4, 5, 6 transfers I need. So I might as well do that while I'm waiting. I almost dipped my freaking brush in my drink, which I need right now because I was thinking of the drinks. My throat's starting to ache. Okay, that's feeling better. Right, now, where the bloody hell have I put my scissors? I have some scissors knocking about somewhere. And I also need to go and get a little bowl of water, so I'll be back in a moment. There's my scissors. bloody hell. Oh, bugger. Just tipped on the floor. Lovely. Good thing I have a cloth nearby. Don't want that soaking into the freaking wood of the floor. Anyway, now I need the transfer sheets. Because what we need... We need one large and one medium Blood Angel symbol. So we'll go for these two. So those are the two that I'm after for that. One of them is going to go on here, and one of them is going to go here. So the small one's going to go up the top there. Hopefully there's enough space for it to fit. If not, I'll have to cut it down a little. And now I also need 2 blood drops. Where's the other sheet? No, I used all those ones off this one, did I? No, I have 2 left on this one, so I'm not going to cut through into those ones yet. So it's these 2 yellow blood drops. And then I need... These are the vehicle blood drops. Then I need a number. I can't remember what my other 2 are. I think they're number 1 and number 2, so I need number 3. Ah, no! Stop sticking to my fingers. There we go. I've got... That one is... Which one have I put on this one? That one's the chalice with 2 little white blood drops next to either side of it. So that's that one. So I might actually go for that one as well, for this one. Since they're both kind of like heavy-ish weapons platforms. These are the campaign markers. So which campaigns they've been on. And the last one, yeah, is 1, 2 and a 3. So let's get number 3 out as well. There we go. Okay, so that's that. I have my tweezers, I have my paintbrushes, and I have my water. So first things first, we'll see what I'm going to be doing. First, we have the slightly more rounded shoulder pads of the Redemptor Dreadnought. We're having one large Blood Angel symbol here, one small Blood Angel symbol here. The only issue with this is there's a Crux Terminatus in the place here, in the area that I usually put it on. So that's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt. I might have to cut things down a little bit. But then we've got the vehicle number down here, and then we've got a chapter, a campaign marker down here, as well as the 1, 2 yellow blood drops. I just really noticed now that this one's ever so slightly off kilter. Oh well, can't do anything about it now since I varnished it in place. Oh well, shit happens. So first things first, let's go for the Blood Angel symbols. I don't mind putting both of these in at the same time, because they don't take too long to apply. I will need my tweezers, and I will need one of my brushes. Let's use this one. Because this one I'm going to be prodding things around, so this one I need to have a kind of a buggered brush. And just need to wait a little moment, because this one is going to go here, on the flat. Because, as you can see, this one, the Balistus is a lot more reminiscent of the previous generation of Dreadnought. It's a lot more boxy, whereas this one is a lot more rounded. Ooh. Okay, so first things first, this should, in theory, be... oh, come on, turd muffin. This should be enough to start. Yep, it is moving. So now, let's move you out of the way, so as I can actually position you, so as I can get you off. Ah! And I just realised you can't see shite. So let's do this here then. Oh no! No, come back! No, don't leave me. I need you. There we go. Ah, come on, better angle. There we go. Need to be this roughly perpendicular. Slide it up here, clamp it down. Remove the backing. I need some more water, because this is not sticking. There we go. So that's that. I can toss the backing paper. And then while it's still wet, I can maneuver it. Looking at the camera, that maybe a little bit further to see that. That's it. I think that's kind of good. Now I just need a bit of tissue to dab it down. Remove a bit of the water, a bit of the moisture. Oh, that's supposed to be a pain in the butt. I'm going to have this one sitting up like this. Oops, the next one. Come here. Let's get you out of the water. Into the tweezers. And now you are going to get slid. Come on. There we go. Ah, we have just enough space. I just need to, oh, no, don't touch that. Don't touch the one I've just finished positioning. So I need a little tiny bit of finagling as this one. Almost, a little bit higher up. A little bit, no, a little bit further back. Because you've got to border like a little section here, which if that wasn't there, this would be way easier. But that looks kind of good. Which is annoying because it's a little bit off. It's off kilter. It's not off kilter, but it doesn't look right. But, Dab that one up a little bit. And next is going to be both the yellow yellow blood marks, because one of them is going to go here and one of them is going to go here. I've just got to wait for those. So yeah, right now we've got the Blood Angels chapter iconography, which doesn't look great at the moment since they're still a bit wet, so they're reflecting horrendously from the ring light around the camera. But when they dry, I can then varnish. I've just realised there's a little bit of extra buggered up stuff up there, but I'll fix that after. So now will be the first of the 2 yellow blood drops. Whilst I'm just sliding this off, come on, come on, disconnect, now you want to, detach, there we go. Yeah, now that's completely ski whiff, but we can fix that easy. Nudge it around with the wet paintbrush. No! Come on. You're being a pain in the ass now. I told you you'd be easy to deal with, and you're making a liar out of it. There we go. Now it's working. Right. I think I want that a little bit further down. Yeah, I think that works. Dab that down now, so kind of try and fix it a bit more in place. Luckily this is a flat surface, these are all flat surfaces, so they're going to sit way more easily. And the last one is going to go just above the purity seals in the centre. Well, I said the last one, it's the second of the drops. Ah, bug it. Come on, come on. go. That's that. Backing before I forget. And then I need to nudge it around a little. I have to be very careful where I'm putting my fingers now. No, no. Yes, you. Feels like it's a little bit too far back. That looks good. Now just for the knees. Now we're going to go on to the vehicle number and the campaign badge. Ooh. Yeah, I think I am just going to finish this guy. The next main thing is just to paint around the edge of the base. And that's basically it, unless I want to add some tufts of grass to the base, which I probably will do. Actually, it's a big base; it needs to have something to break up the visual aesthetic there. Let's go for the vehicle number first. Is that enough? Yes, it is. Although I just realised I'm going to have to hold this a different way. Thank bugger I'm ambidextrous. There we go. That just needs to be centered. So that's that one. And then the final transfer, if I can get the little git out, is the campaign badge. Come back. Come here. Oh, oh. And that's going to go on this kneecap. Uh-oh. Oh no. There we go. Saved it. It almost folded over. That would not have been ideal. Actually, whilst we're at it, I'm going to move these transfer sheets out of the way so I don't accidentally get them wet. Because that would suck. Ooh, careful, not put my fingers there. Just, nope, center. Center. Oh, I said center. I feel like it's like an argument here between the wife and the husband, or whatever. A little bit to the left. No, a little bit to the right, or the boss and the employees, whatever. However you want to have that joke. Where it's just, you keep nudging it and it keeps going a bit too far. That's really frustrating. Stop it. You need to be in a very specific point. The problem is I don't know where the edge of the freaking... Because the edge of the transfer actually extends beyond the pigment, so you can't actually tell when it's going to start moving. So I nudge it, thinking I have to travel further, and I don't. So there we go. That's pretty much mostly finished. It's mainly just going to need varnishing now, which I have to wait until everything is dry before I can do that. So now I think we can do the last finishing touch, which is the ring around the base ring. So for that, I'm going to need to, first of all, remove this. Let's see if I can get rid of it without pouring more of it on the floor. And then, the last bit, like I said, other than a couple of little fuck-up fixes, which I might as well do now, actually. I'm going to need... Let's take you. Use the same brush for all of this. Yeah, as you can see here, it's dried up perfectly fine. It was darker originally. But it camouflages perfectly well. And again, I was about to put my brush into my drink. Don't want to do that. That's not conducive to a good, healthy lifestyle. Stuck to my fingers. So now, hopefully, I have enough Mornfang Brown left. I do. I definitely do. So, again, I need to be very careful where I put my fingers on this model. And I'm just going to overload the brush and just ring around the actual base itself. Now, some people like to paint the base rings black, which I don't mind in certain times. Okay, that's my tweezers. I don't mind sometimes. I actually do that in my D&D models, but for some reason it feels wrong with the 40k models. But I suppose that's just because I'm so used to having the base rings be roughly the same colour as the base itself. But I like this because it ties into it makes it feel like it ties into the terrain more, and it's less like a model on the terrain, and it looks a little bit more like I've just realised I need to do the Mechanicus symbol on the back. So that's a little bit extra that needs to be done, but now I'm painting the base, so that's going to be a pain in the butt. But it's not like it's a huge amount that needs doing there. It's mainly just going to be a little bit of white, which is perfectly fine. And again, I have to be careful where I put my fingers, because I don't want to take off any of the freaking transfers that I've just put on. Because normally I paint the base first before I do the transfers. But you know, I like to live dangerously. I like to live on the edge. And that is actually, now I've got around to the first part of the base ring. It's already dry because it's freaking sweltering here. So I can pretty much do both the coats back to back. Because then I'm not going to end up with having it be all streaky. Because I hate having streaky base rings. But considering that it dries this quickly, it means that I'll be able to do the last little bit of detail without having to worry too much about screwing up the base ring. And virtually, there we go, that's the full revolution again. So that's the base ring finished, and this is the reason why I'm using the card on the table, as I don't want to have like a brown painted coffee ring on my table. Yes, I can remove it fairly easily, but I'd rather not have to worry, and I'd rather not have to bother. Okay, so that's that. Now I need a much finer paintbrush. Actually, I can probably get away with this one. I don't want to risk damaging that one too much. So now I need Corax White. Corax White. And I can pretty much do this already. So if I hold it like so, what was it again? Let's remember which way round it goes. Okay, outside edge is that side. But let's flip it, because I'm using my right hand currently. And I want this side of the skull to be white. There we go. It's mostly fine, except it veers off a little bit towards the top. So let's fix that. There we go. Then I can flip it back around again. And hit up the other side. So just edge around the skull and halfway down the cog. And then just fill out the last little section and the edges. Preferably leaving a little outline of black. And yeah, it's getting really warm and the paint is drying super freaking fast. It's not ideal. It's starting to... bug it. I overdid it there. I'll have to re-black that little section out later. There we go. That's the Mechanicum done. But the skull needs to be fixed a little bit, but I have to wait with that one now. But yeah, that's pretty much finished. Oh, except for I want to put some... Yeah, where? Put you over there. So I'm finished with the paint for now. But I need my PVA. And let's put, let's say, 2 tufts at the front. One there. One there. And let's put one around the back. One there. So a couple little splodges of PVA. Then I can grab, move you out of the way, these little tufts. Just yank one out and place it down. And so there's one there. And then we're going to have the 2 at the front. Oop. So one there, and I'm so glad this stuff dries clear. There we go. So that white little splodge underneath that will dry much clearer. So it'll look a lot better when it's dry. I can actually try and fix that a little bit by moving it over. There we go, that's a little better. A little bit less noticeable. But even so, it'll dry clearer, it'll look better. Close that down. And I've got to say, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out right now. It still needs varnishing, so it's going to tone down when it's varnished. And it's going to end up looking a lot closer in red tone to this guy, because this guy looks a lot darker. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. And that is going to be basically it for this particular stream, because I am getting my throat is getting sore, and I want to go and get some more food. And it's getting too hot to keep talking. So let's pack everything back up again. Let's keep it out of the freaking way. Paintbrushes, because I have no idea how long it's going to be until I finally finish dealing with the rest of my models. What else have I got? I've got my sculpting tools and my magnets over here. Come here. Stop sticking. You know what? No, I don't even care anymore. You can stick together all you like. And then I've got my glues. So clean the top of that off. Plastic and super glue. I still need to fix one of my suppressor units actually, so I'll deal with that later. Throw these in. These stuff's there. I've got my old little, my previous generator Terminator librarian that I put together. He's been sitting in my freaking case for ages. It was made from an old grey, some of the old Grey Knight plastic kits and some old Blood Angel upgrade sprues. But I never got around to painting him. And I don't think I will ever, since I now have the more correctly scaled Blood Angel Terminators. So I think that'll do. I'm actually quite pleased with how this has turned out. It's not, like I said, it's going to look a lot better once I varnish it. It'll actually tone down a lot. And yeah, another one of the sons of Sanguinius ready to smite the enemies of the God Emperor. So yeah, thanks for joining us for this. It's been a journey. Let's put this back over. Because again, I forgot to swap this over before. But then I can just doop. There we go. Much better. And I can actually have some more of the coffee, even though I'm already sweltering. The question is this still nice and warm? It's still drinkable, so that's good. Now, later on today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on how I feel, I am probably going to be streaming some Fallout 4. Because, you know, I always like streaming on my birthday. Usually I end up doing like a night, doing like a mammoth stream. But I don't think I can be bothered doing that this time. So yes, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here to motivate me to actually do some painting, because I've been putting these guys off for freaking ever. And I am very happy with how this guys turned out. So yeah, this guy needs to be... although I do feel like the... yeah, well, see I'm sweating. I'll be careful with my hair. But yeah, I feel like the way the... I would have preferred to have like a slightly more rounded shoulder as well, because it feels like the iconography is a little bit low down. But there's not a lot you can do about it, that's how the model is made. So yeah. But anyway, thank you very much for joining, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to go and get some food, because I have some takoyaki waiting for me. It's pre-made, so I need to work out how to cook it and actually make the sauce for it. And I've obviously forgot bonito flakes, so, you know, it's doing well. And I'm either going to make some karage or some tonkatsu later. Depends what I can be bothered to do. Because I'm on a massive Japanese food bender at the moment. So I'm going to be doing that. I also have some mochi later. So yes, anyway, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to stop rambling and talking about what I'm going to be eating later. And thank you very much for joining. I've been Commander Chaos Wolf. You guys, as always, have been epic. I will see you soon. Until next time, have a good one. Now, where's the freaking stop streaming button? There it is. Bye.